Tomorrow on Houston Life, after the winter storm, it's time to get your garden in shape. We've got expert tips on post-freeze plant cleanup.
A lot of people with a lot of dead plants out there. Plus, Joe Sam is chatting with two locals who were both cast in the highly anticipated return of Eddie Murphy's Coming to America sequel.
Can't wait for that. And from free range to helicopter, tomorrow on Momversations, we're talking parenting styles.
Okay, I've really been enjoying this series. It's also great to hear from some of our coworkers about their experiences, because when you have a job and a family, and I mean, everyone's wearing a lot of hats, right? But
Absolutely.
It's important to know we're not alone.
And it's great to hear from them too, because I feel like in this vulnerable situation at the end of the day, their moms are just trying to get it done. They're working, just everything's happening at once. But it's great to hear them in real talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us on this Wine Club Wednesday. I think our show's over, huh?
It is. Let's send it over to Keith and Lauren. Cheers, guys. I don't know what happened to our glasses,
I was going to say,
cheers.
You all made quick work of that.
I need a refill.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Next at 4, the decision to allow teachers in Texas to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
Plus, updated guidelines from the Texas Education Agency regarding kids and masks in schools.
And SpaceX plans to try again in launching its Starship SN10 prototype in South Texas. KPRC 2 News at 4 begins now.
This is KPRC 2 News at 4.
Breaking now at 4, the state of Texas now directing vaccine providers to give the COVID-19 vaccine to teachers as well as child care workers.
The news comes one day after Governor Abbott's announcement lifting COVID-19 restrictions as well as the state's mask mandate. Good afternoon. I'm Lauren Freeman in for Christine Noel.
And I'm Keith Garvin. We have also received the updated guidelines from the Texas Education Agency. The update says a public school system's current practices on masks may continue unchanged. The guidelines also give school boards full authority to determine their mask policy. The news comes just hours after we learn the virus vaccine will be given to teachers and other school workers in our state.
KPRC 2's Jacob Rascon is live at the FEMA-run vaccination site at NRG Park with the latest now. Jacob.
Yeah, Lauren, Texas was one of only a couple dozen states that didn't already offer the vaccine to educators, but now most teachers and staff, including bus drivers of kindergarten through high school, as well as childcare, will now effective immediately begin to sign up for those wait lists, including all of the dozens of providers in our area and the hubs like this FEMA site. Effective immediately, vaccine providers in Texas must now offer doses to most teachers and staff, in addition to everyone else already eligible in the state. Those teachers and staff will now be able to sign up to get vaccinated at hubs like the FEMA city and county sites, as well as pharmacies and dozens of other providers.
This is going to be a huge piece of helping us stabilize our school system, helping us be able to get more, the focus back on students.
Zeph Capo is the president of the Texas division of the American Federation of Teachers.
What it actually will mean is a tremendous burden lifted off the shoulders of our educators that are going in each and every day to take on the responsibilities of the health and safety of 15 or 20 kids in their classroom, as well as thinking about the safety of their own children and their own family.
Exactly which teachers and staff are now eligible is defined by the U.S. Acting Secretary of Health and Human Services. Quote, those who work in pre-primary, primary, and secondary schools, as well as Head Start and Early Head Start programs, including teachers, staff, and bus drivers, and those who work as or for licensed child care providers, including center-based and family care providers.
It's just simply great news. We're hoping that all of our educators that want the vaccine take advantage of it and as quickly as possible.
So there are, of course, still wait lists, and now everybody who is already eligible, who is already signed up, is still there, but now the teachers and staff can also sign up. So that's the 13 hub websites in our region, as well as the dozens of pharmacies that are already part of the program offering the vaccine. You can sign up for pharmacies, by the way, at vaccinefinder.org and just put in your zip code. Live at Energy Park, I'm Jacob Rascon, KPRC 2 News.
Jacob, thank you. We are 1 week away from the pandemic restrictions being lifted in our state, including the mask mandate. But there are concerns that the decision could impact hospitalizations in our area. KPRC 2's Phil Archer spoke with one doctor who is familiar with COVID hospitalizations. Phil is live at the medical center with what that doctor had to say. Phil?
That, of course, is Dr. Joseph Verone. Over the last year, he's become a leading national voice in the fight against COVID. And during that time, he has correctly predicted spikes in the virus due to people relaxing precautions. Well, now, after the governor's announcement yesterday, Dr. Verone is making that warning again. Governor Abbott's decision to open up the state, making face masks no longer mandatory, is the wrong move at the wrong time, according to Dr. Verone.
My immediate reaction was frustration. And, I was looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, and now that light is looking further away after this announcement.
At his hospital in North Houston, he's battled COVID for a straight 348 days since the pandemic began. With only about 7% of the Texas population vaccinated, Georgia and Utah are the only states lower than that. And with a statewide positivity rate of about 8.7%, Dr. Verone says everyone should keep wearing masks because they work.
I just don't understand the science that led the governor to make this announcement. I just don't see it.
He says we can likely expect a replay of last spring when Governor Abbott lifted COVID restrictions the first time and was forced to reinstate them a few weeks later.
Last year, we opened the state in April, late April, and then we have the worst months of my life, May, June, and July, where I wrote the most number of death certificates of my entire career.
We visited the hospital during the crisis last spring. Bed space was at a premium, with critically ill and dying COVID patients filling the wards. Now Dr. Verone and his staff are preparing for another surge that he expects will come as a result of the governor's order.
We're going to have to get more nurses, more respirators, more respiratory therapists. That's going to be the problem.
Dr. Verone says he's worried, or I should say that he hopes that he's wrong about the coming surge, but he's urging everyone to continue wearing masks and continue social distancing in the short term to stay safe. Reporting live in the medical center, I'm Phil Archer, KPRC Channel 2 News.
All right, Phil, thank you. President Joe Biden making waves this afternoon, calling the decision by both Texas and Mississippi governors to lift COVID restrictions amid the pandemic a big mistake.
The last thing we need is Neanderthal thinking that in the meantime everything's fine, take off your mask, forget it. It still matters.
The president also said the U.S. is on the cusp of changing the nature of the virus because of the rise in vaccinations nationwide.
Next hour, we will have an exclusive live interview with Governor Greg Abbott, as well as Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo, regarding the announcement that COVID-19 restrictions will be lifted in Texas. You can watch both on air or at click2houston.com. And our Click to Vote question today is about the lifted COVID restrictions when it comes to businesses. Will you go inside a business that does not require masks? Vote now at click2vote.com. We will have the final results in our newscast at 5.
KPRC 2 is your vaccine central. The Houston Health Department has just opened a new wait list for the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The J&J vaccine only requires one dose, unlike the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines, which require 2 shots. The Houston Health Department will begin administering the J&J vaccine tomorrow. You can join the wait list by calling 832, the number you see on your screen, 832-393-4301. We also have a link posted to register online at click2houston.com/vaccine.
Today, the University of Houston teamed up with Walgreens to administer 1,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine. The university made it a priority to vaccinate members of their community most at risk, including students and faculty in Phase 1A. This includes people who see patients through their clinical work.
I want to make sure that my patients are safe. I do work with elderly patients, so I think it's important to get the vaccine so I don't put people who are at higher risk at even more risk.
As supply increases nationwide, the University of Houston is requesting more doses and hopes to have another vaccination clinic in the next 2 weeks. Remember that whenever a new opportunity for vaccinations opens up in our area, we will update you on air and at click2houston.com/vaccine. Now to a chase ending Brazoria County involving a truck that was stolen nearly 200 miles away.
And police say that truck was filled with people. This all ended on County Road 4 and County Road 522 in Brazoria County. KPRC 2's Brandon Walker has been following the story and is live in Brazoria County with more. Brandon.
Yeah, Keith, and from where we are along County Road 522, you've got a good 3 miles or so to go that way to get to where that truck crashed. In the distance there, you see track marks, but where we are here along the road, you can see others here. And this follows the truck's path through what's been repaired. That fence there, the post in the middle, they knocked it down and went all the way to the back of the property there. But we're told the truck is not from these parts. Rosenberg police tell me it was reported stolen from Beeville. A map of that you see, that's in B County, 2 hours south and west from where we are in unincorporated Brazoria County, Damon to be exact. A bird's eye now, courtesy of Sky 2, shows the truck stuck in its tracks in a patch of mud near the San Bernard River. Rosenberg police tell me there were anywhere from 10 to 15 people inside the truck. People who gave chase beginning in Fort Bend County along Highway 59. That was this morning at around 9:30, 10 o'clock, we're told. From there, police say they made their way to County Road 522, then County Road 4. The truck got stuck in the mud and crashed into a tree, too. That's when the people inside, police say, scrambled, ran throughout the brush. One man was taken into custody. The others, however, are out there somewhere, police say. And the man whose property today became the scene of the crime, well, he says he hopes they're nowhere near his property.
4 or 5 hours it's been going on. I guess they could have traveled a long way, and I personally hope they have, and you know, and are not still down there.
Yeah, Mr. Neal there saying that he's hoping that they're not lost on his property or any of his nearby neighbors' property. He says people are pretty sparsed out here, so that's not a significant concern. Again, Rosenberg police telling us some 10 to 15 people believed to be in that truck. One person in custody, the other still on the run. Police add there were no reported injuries. We are live in Brazoria County, Damon to be exact. I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC 2 News.
All right, Brandon, thank you, sir. Charges have now been filed against a man accused of killing his grandmother and younger brother in Southeast Houston. 35-year-old Derek Hayes is charged with capital murder, aggravated assault, and felon in possession of a weapon. That shooting happened yesterday morning at a home along Cayman Mist Drive near Carmelie Street. 71-year-old Carmen Hayes and 15-year-old Bryce Alexander were killed. Police tell us family members later found Hayes and confronted him. That is when investigators say Hayes tried shooting his uncle but missed and was later arrested.
The Fort Bend County District Attorney's Office and Human Trafficking Rescue Alliance announced the outcome of a joint operation. Over 3 days, the undercover sting operation Cupid resulted in the arrest of 30 people and the rescue of 1 child.
This was a targeted attempt to reduce demand as an effort to eradicate human trafficking in Fort Bend County.
Fort Bend County District Attorney Brian Middleton says they will not stop and will be continuing being relentless until human trafficking is eradicated in Fort Bend County.
An alert from the federal government warns of plans to try to take control of the U.S. Capitol as soon as tomorrow. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI warning some domestic groups have discussed removing Democratic lawmakers on or about March 4th. The bulletin warning domestic violent extremists or militia violent extremists were emboldened by the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. It also states that domestic violent extremists have a continued perception of election fraud and other conspiracy theories associated with the presidential transition, which may contribute to the groups mobilizing to violence with little or no warning.
The latest launch test in the future of space.
Coming up, we await SpaceX's next attempt today at launching its Starship SN-10 prototype in South Texas. We have now learned it will be at around 5 p.m. We will bring it to you live when it happens on click2houston.com.
Plus, what a day. Beautiful skies out there. Temperatures on the comfortable side all the way through. Grab a jacket for this evening and the overnight. It's going to get a little cool as we continue, but it warms up. We'll talk about that and your weekend straight ahead, Keith.
All right, let's see how the roads are heating up at 4:12 right now. Your traffic times. Normal drive times in most directions. If you're headed down to LaPorte on 225, it's going to take you 18 minutes from downtown Houston. Out to Katy on the Katy Freeway, half an hour from downtown. And if you're going down to Sugar Land, It's going to take you 30 minutes on the Southwest Freeway.
And also, we want to let you know about our traffic page at click2houston.com called What's Driving Houston. There you can find real-time traffic maps and sign up for our weekly newsletter. You can visit our page by going to click2houston.com/traffic.